Hello, you sexy sperm clouds. I'm Ben Gilman. Welcome back to Squire Syndrome TV podcast. It's the Valentine's Day special. Yes, I know some of you are going to hate this and some of you are going to like this. So, as always, I hope you're well. I'm joined by someone who, after last week's victory lap, she's still sitting on a cloud of smugness. It's this future Mrs. Helen. Insert the name of the husband here. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm very smug right now, and I'm enjoying it a great deal. Thank you very much.
Lovely. I'm also joined by someone who is the Rachel to the Mr. Hunky Man's Ross. It's Tara Chloe.
What?
It's not great. I've murdered that. And I'm joined by a man that every Valentine has a very special relationship with his right hand. It's Troy Salmon.
Oh my God.
Mate.
What on earth is that?
And we're all here because our parents had sex once. But hello, we hope you're all well.
And only once.
Yeah, no, there's an image. That's, the whole world is imagining their parents having sex now. That's how we got here. Whoa. How is everyone?
What an image.
Good.
What an
Yeah,
image.
check out the orange here. It has been Lunar New Year, and then this is orange right here.
Okay. Happy Lunar New Year, everyone. What has the orange got to do with it?
No idea actually. It's for decoration and for eating.
Excellent. Those are the two main functions of the orange.
Yep.
Lovely.
Lovely stuff. I'm all right. How are you guys?
Well, I'm just saying off camera, as Helen has said as well, it's just a shame Tara wasn't around last week for the last special, you know, the Titty Man cometh.
Where Titty Man? Where?
Oh,
there's so
at one point we were taking the three hottest guys and how we kept commenting how they took their shirts off all the time. And this is perfect time for Tara to be around. Where is she? Oh, she's not here.
I mean, Lost does have Daniel Day Kim in it with,
Okay.
a shortage of clothing, shall we say.
And he's Korean too.
Like a bad
Yeah.
God.
You know, ticks all your boxes, Tara. Definitely.
I'm loving it. It's like,
You know,
man.
there's a lot of very good-looking men in Lost.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of lost luggage. So, you know, it's a massively excellent combination, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Definitely.
Yeah, excellent. So are we all loved up then, peeps? How are we feeling about Valentine's Day?
I'm happy. I don't know what we're doing. I will have no internet. So we're recording these in advance. I will not have internet until the 23rd, until a certain point, but that's fine. You still get your weekly podcast in. If everything's gone well, I'm going to kill Troy this week. He's got to do double the number of stuff and House of Animation, get them to me by Tuesday so I can upload them all for the weeks, but I'm good. I'll most probably be watching Love is Blind with my wife or something romantic.
Oh,
I don't know. We're going to have no internet, so I don't know what we're going to watch. Most probably some. We're at the basically we're at the mercy of the aerial and whatever's on BBC and ITV for a couple of weeks.
oh God, can you imagine having to watch actual telly at scheduled time?
Yeah, I know. Going back to Dark Ages, it takes 2 weeks in this country to get an internet swap over, and I hate it.
Really?
Yeah. So we've gone with someone new. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We're going with Now TV. We like a 1-year contract. Thank you very much. That'll be good. Now, if we can just change our energy supplier soon, we'll be happy. That's the next one.
We're still up for energy supplier sponsorship if that's what anybody wants to give us.
Give us a lot of us. So, Tara, what did you do last week since you weren't here talking about Lost? What were you up to?
Nothing much, I guess.
Lunar New Year stuff.
Yeah. A lot of stuff happened.
Are you going to fly on the moon like over the moon? Like remember that anime film we spoke about, House of Animation?
Yeah,
some 10-year-old kid managed to build a rocket from Amazon and fly to the moon, and we all laughed the whole crap that
No,
was.
that's actually in the autumn, like mid-autumn or something. Yeah. No, I didn't do much show. Just celebrated it. I stayed over at my friend's place, and yeah, many things happened. There was a cute baby.
That cried a lot. You told me off camera. Who did not like all the noise that the adults were making.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty much. Yeah.
what a shame.
Even in the picture you showed me, he looks like he's about to start crying. He's like right in the middle of it. I'm gonna throw a big temper tantrum here.
Yes. Yep. And there were many cats.
Oh, that's always good.
Yep, there were so many cats, but they're all so shy. And you know what's the funniest part? So we were actually walking out midnight to get a taxi. In the end, I couldn't get a taxi, so I decided to stay over. So my folks at home were wondering how come I never came back. So so I stepped up from my friend's residence with two of my friends, and we saw squashed up shit smeared all over the floor, probably some animal shit or something.
Oh,
And
God.
yeah, it was nighttime, and they're like, careful, careful, don't step on it. Then I'm like, oh, gross, I wonder who would do such a thing. And they're like, maybe it's the guy, or is it, my arch enemy, right?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I've got a feeling Tara's ultimate animal would be a buff cat person with big muscles.
I mean a chunky cat.
Big chunky cat with muscles. That's a middle ground. Mix a buff Asian man with a cat. There we go. Someone make that show.
Yeah, so that was one of the funny highlights, I suppose. And yeah, we were deciding what shows to play because I was here also, and my landlord's granddaughter came over. She's like half Korean, so I was speaking to her. I just found out that my Korean level is rather elementary, like of a 6-year-old. I can communicate with a 6 or 5-year-old in Korean. So we were playing with the Eevee and the avocado. And then we were looking for stuff to entertain the kids. We couldn't play Monster X because it's PG rated. They take off their shirt.
Okay.
And the kids' parents, especially the baby, it's a boy, they didn't want their kid to be following Monster X or Wonho to take off his shirt. And one of the other guys was like, but it would inspire a whole new generation of. Then the parents were like, no.
It's quite a whole new generation.
Parents were like, no. Yeah, so we had to play BTS instead for the kids.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, I have an email. This is before the last special. So basically, obviously, by the time you've heard this, we haven't quite released it yet, so you guys won't know how it's gone. You will because obviously I've told you we're doing them back to back, so the lost one drops today, so you haven't heard it yet. But Sheila from Australia, yeah, that is her name. I don't, Sheila from Australia said, looking forward to the last special. I do think Helen will argue everyone around to at least the character work is good. Almost like she can see the future.
Yeah, Sheila, are you psychic?
Without spoiling, me and Troy think it's okay, good. Not the best show ever, not amazing, but Helen does make some very good points where we at least admit the character work is good. If you ignore everything else, the character work is consistent at least, and we all have.
Character work.
And if the character work is good on a show about the characters, then it is a good show.
Good.
Yes.
Not amazing.
Thank you very much.
Special. 3 out of 5. It's not bad. It's middle of the road. It's good. It's solid. So there's your spoiler. It's good.
I know the truth.
Well, we've at least admitted you've changed your opinion. It's shit. It's not bad. Helen got her way. Oh, God. So anyway,
Didn't get my way. That sounds like I dug my heels in and I'm forced to do it. I successfully argued about the good points about that show, and you guys agreed. And I don't need any more than that. That's fine.
You're not asking us to say it's the best show of all time.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
To give it a bit more respect, and that's what happened. So cool. Anyway, so today is the Valentine's Day special. I launched it on these guys last minute, so I don't know what to expect.
Well, tell you what, I have, as I was saying to these guys off camera before we started, and as some of the other longer term listeners might know, I am planning a wedding, and we have decided to name the tables after our favourite television couples.
Okay, so here you go. Who you want to start with?
So I think because that's the only thing that we can agree on is who we think are excellent. So shall I just go through them all and then you guys can tell me what you think?
Yeah, we're just going to break it down this week.
Spoilers, for my wedding. But I think it might be a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just get the spreadsheet up. The first one is, I've talked about this show an awful lot, is Ted Lasso. And our favourite couple in Ted Lasso is slight spoilers for the second season. But Roy Kent and Keeley.
Okay.
People that I know have backed what you've been saying about Ted Lasso, so I'm going to check it out at some point.
It's absolutely amazing.
People say it's amazing.
And some of these couples are romantic couples. Some of them are, heterosexual life partners who have a bond and a relationship that I'd admire. So the second one we're potentially looking at is Troy and Abed.
Community,
yes.
Community. We've never touched on Community. I mean,
I've mentioned it a couple of times.
Yeah, but we never actually talked about Community properly. Like, I love that show. Abed's one of the best. Troy and Abed is basically how me and Troy are, basically. Because me and Troy used to rip off the Ben and Troy in the morning. We stole that from Community.
Yeah, and I think what I like about Abed especially is it's proper neurodivergent representation as well. Like it really doesn't matter.
And Troy's just the the best friend. So it's kind of like, and he's got the same name as well. So it's always like we were like that, literally like that. And God, they're the best friends. They are the best romance in the whole show. I don't care. They're like bromance.
Yeah. And Troy just goes along with Abed no matter what because he loves him and he never makes him feel awkward or bad for all his like massive tangents.
I mean, me and Troy have that. We're like a bromance.
We have that as well. So to be honest, so, yeah.
It's a bromance. We always look out for each other. We've always been hanging out. Never had any troubles.
No, zero.
Okay.
I did find Pierce was the worst character in that show though. The old man.
Well, they got rid of him, didn't they?
Oh God, he was just a pain in the ass.
A pain in the arse on set. All rumors to be believed. I think.
Yeah.
They all pretty much had enough of him by whatever season it was that he left.
Yeah.
But yeah, Community is a fantastic show.
I love that. What's his name? I love how they brought Ken Jeong into it more, and I love the principal. It's just such a weird show. I love that Sawyer from Lost turns up as a sexy person for the season finale at the paintball, and they completely just go, "Oh, it's a sexy guest star. Ooh, ratings." It's like, yeah.
Yeah, they're very trope aware, so they're very like self-referential a lot of the time. But also, I like the way that they have like traditional episodes. They have the paintball episode every year, and they'll have like different types of themed episodes and all that stuff.
I love the one where the pen goes missing. They stay in the room until they find the pen, and they're all taking their clothes off. It's the funniest thing. It's just like a whole episode in the
I forgot about that episode.
But what I like about it as well is that Abed is so kind of like trope conscious. Like he's almost like explaining to the viewer what's going on. He'll say like, "Oh, look, it's a bottle episode," or you know, "Oh, look, we're doing an animated episode now," or a musical episode, and he just like tells everybody what's going on. And all the so they say the word Beetlejuice 3 times as well in the series, and the third time they say Beetlejuice, a character dressed as Beetlejuice appears.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's another one where Troy has like a separate storyline about helping somebody give birth that's just happening in the background, and it's not ever referenced by any of the main characters. Amazing. So good.
I love the one
Community was tight.
I love the one where they do like a groundhog. Like it's in the apartment and you just keep going down all the different holes.
Oh, Chaos Theory.
Different universes.
Yeah, the Chaos Theory episode.
I could go on about Community for days. Even the later seasons, it's not as good. It's still some of the best stuff. I mean, people go up to season 4. Season 5 was different because Dan Cameron stepped down. Season 6 brought it back to good again. The first 4 seasons are some of the best television going on. 5 and 6 is okay, but by them it lost its spark a little bit. I think they should have kept it to a few seasons because those first 3-4 seasons are amazing.
Yeah, incredible TV.
And some people say it's better than Big Bang Theory. Big Bang
Of course
Theory
it is.
Yeah, Big Bang
I
Theory
don't
is
be that big
okay
fan.
in an old sitcom style, but Community is so much cleverer because it doesn't have to explain all the geeky references all the time, which is great. Big Bang Theory feels like an idiot book sometimes, where you have to kind of. It's embarrassing, like it makes nerds look like idiots and socially awkward, which they're not always.
No, and yeah, just because somebody's socially awkward doesn't mean that's a pass to be rude and horrible to people. And Sheldon, a lot of the time, is just nasty.
Yeah,
and it's all kind of blamed. Oh, that's that's how he is. But there's no excuse for that. None.
But the bromance for those two is real. Next pick.
Well, I feel like I'm taking over a little bit, so I'm probably going to do one more, and then I'm going to hear what you would name your tables after. I think my next one is going to be Bob and Linda Belcher. Have we talked a lot about Bob's Burgers on this show?
No, we haven't. Well, we have occasionally, but I've not seen it.
Well, has anybody seen Bob's Burgers?
No, I've not seen that.
About the husband and wife.
Yeah, they're the main couple in it, and they're probably one of the most real couples on television. They love each other. They're messy. They're loud. They're sloppy. They kind of wind each other up and take the piss out of each other. But they love each other an awful lot, and the kids are really happy and settled. And I just think, yeah, if I want to aim to be like anybody, I'd be like Bob and Linda from Bob's Burgers. But nobody else has seen it, so I can't tell. But yeah, if you haven't
seen a little clips, but I've never actually watched it properly myself.
You'd be amazed at how many memes there are that come from Bob's Burgers. So just to give you a little bit of background, it's a family that own a burger shop. They're all mad, and by mad I say that in the most kind of gentle and kind of non-judgmental way as I can. Like they're very cookie, like very kind of unique people, and it centers around Bob, who's played by H. John Benjamin. Whose voice you will definitely recognize. He's Archer. He crops up a lot in like Family Guy and things like that. Running a restaurant, burger restaurant, and they never actually say where they are, but it's like you get a feeling it's kind of like Long Island-y or Jersey Shore kind of place, like very rundown, mid like working class American seaside kind of thing. And so like every week there's a burger of the week that's a pun. Like when you see the opening credits, there's always a pun about the shop next door. So there's lots of like little Easter eggs and stuff. But they've got 3 kids, and the 3 kids are all very unique children. Very much got personalities of their own and get up to all kinds of adventures. But it's like they have like musical episodes, or they have episodes that have got songs in them. They really play with the format, play with the episode format, and the supporting characters are all absolutely brilliant. But the kind of Megan Mullally, who is Tammy 2 from Parks and Rec, she pops up in it a lot. So obviously Ron Swanson, the guy that plays him, pops up a lot. So lots of like really good voice actors, and yeah, but with a really solid, happy, loving couple at the middle of it, who just seem to get themselves into all kinds of different scrapes.
Burgers.
It's like The Simpsons, but if Homer wasn't an idiot.
Okay. Got ya. Sounds interesting. I've seen a lot of bits about that.
Definitely, it's definitely worth it. They've just put it all on Disney Plus as well. So if you've got Disney Plus, I would have a look at that. But I think it's on Amazon too.
Yeah, I've seen it around now. No, I've seen it on Amazon. Yeah, I've seen it around in there.
Yeah, so definitely worth a look.
I've got a list of American shows. I mean, I've talked about British shows so much, and I thought like I could bring some of my favorite American stuff on for once, because like I wanted to go through a list of people like decent couples, not like the ones where it was on and off.
Yeah,
because nobody likes those ones. So Ross and Rachel aren't really on this list because I think we've talked about them forever.
Oh God, but Ross is so horrible though. He was so needy and jealous and controlling. I don't know why she went back to him. I'm very stupid.
I'm going to surprise you with some certain ones. They might have only been an episode of Anthropology or like Willow. Let's talk about Willow and Tara.
Willow and Tara, yeah.
Oh.
First gay relationship, female relationship that I saw on TV where it wasn't just played for sex or sexuality. just played as two women finding themselves and falling in love with each other.
Yeah, it wasn't titillation.
It was way ahead of its time. I think they could have done more with it. I think they cut it off too soon. By the time they bedded those two in, Tara got shot. I'm still trying to figure out how they killed her, because it was a really weird bullet angle that took her out of the show.
He was just like, bah, 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 and the bullet hole just like, the bullet just randomly found it. Apparently,
up the stairs, through the window, round the corner.
Because the thing is, when you first watch it, right, you're kind of like shocked, but you're also like, wait a minute. You undoes it a bit, because you're like, but how the F word is the bullet? Your brain's immediately going to, but how the F word is the bullet hit her from there?
Because when she was standing, it was just weird. Yeah, it was weird. You should not have never hit her.
I love Oz and Willow. Let's be honest. Who doesn't like Seth Green? He's awesome. I've met him in real life. He's a nice dude.
Legend. I think that's a legend.
Met him in London once. He was doing a tour, and my friend clocked it was Seth Green. Had a quiet conversation with him. He was really nice. Gave us 10 minutes of his time. Nice dude. But basically, the way they broke them up, you still didn't hate Willow, which is difficult to do. You couldn't hate Tara and Willow. I just thought, like, they never brought Tara back. Even in the comics, they've just never done it. They're like, no, she's the one constant that stays dead. Like, we're not bringing her back. We can bring her back as a ghost to guide Willow, but we're not going to bring her back, because I think a lot of fans... I'm going to be honest with you, because Buffy tends to bring people back. It's like Russell T. Davies or Stephen Moffat in Doctor Who. People don't die.
Yeah.
Like, it's the problem with superhero comic books. They keep bringing people back. 5 years down the line, they come back. I like a death. When you kill someone, they're dead. Like, they don't come back. What do you guys think of these two? Because I thought I'd pick out an iconic one. Because Buffy, Angel, Buffy, Spike, yeah, I don't really care. Xander's relationships, I don't care. But I care about Willow and Tara. I wonder why it's the number one couple from the show in such a short space of time. Why? Why do you guys think?
I think because they were genuine, and I think because they were like, they had an art and they weren't just shoved together because of circumstance or because it was good for the plot. Like, they made sense, and I think they were both flawed individuals. Like, they both had their issues, and they really played with that too. I think, Willow could become quite controlling and consuming at one point, which obviously came to a head and once more with feeling. Yeah. But Tara was also kind of not guilty, but also did have a tendency to just kind of sit back and let things happen to her. And that was the whole introduction, wasn't it, to Tara, was this quiet woman. But I really liked them, and they were a really good couple. It's just a shame they were written by Joss Whedon.
Yeah, but I can still enjoy the characters. If I take Joss Whedon out of it and his problematic behaviour, we can still enjoy the show. Yeah. I want to go back to Sun and Jin from Lost, because we didn't really talk about. They got lost literally in the 2-hour special that's out now. Hopefully, they are the best couple in the show, because they're the ones that feel, for me, rethinking about what we spoke about, Sun and Jin. It's complicated, but they are a pretty decent couple the whole way through. They kind of get lost in the background, but they come into the foreground more in the later seasons a little bit. What do you guys think of them? I don't think we talked about them a lot.
I think we kind of got to them by the time we were at the end of a 2-hour record, so it was a bit like, but yeah. I like them. I think they were good. I think it was interesting not to have just. It was interesting that it wasn't an easy relationship.
Yeah.
And I think repeat what I said in the Lost special was that it was the relationship was complicated by outside factors, and when it was just the two of them, it actually worked.
Sure. So the husband was like, "Hey, let's go," and then someone was like, "No, we gotta stay here, help the people out." He just wanted to do his own things, them two together, no one else, no outside interference.
That bit where she speaks English. It's
like,
whoa, what? Like, yo. What's going on here? That's when you started to realise that was a bit early on, and then you already begin to know that everyone's got a background thing, because the flashbacks, and then you don't trust anyone on that island, because then you're just waiting for the origin story.
Exactly.
You don't trust anyone at that point. It's such a fantastic use of it, because it's like a proper What? Because you're not expecting it from them. So, Pose. I'm going to go for Angel and Little Puppy. They're such a good couple. They go for their struggles, but they don't break up. And it started out as a really platonic friendship in the first season. It's the best relationship on the show. Little Puppy gives Angel a lot of confidence. And you can always rely on Little Puppy. He's the guy. She can always rely on him. And anytime anything gets rough, she can rely on that guy. Also, he's got a kid from a previous relationship, and they become like a little family, and it's really sweet to see Poppy step out from under the shadow of his house mother, and I'm proud of that. That's such a nice relationship. 3 seasons means that they can't really butcher it by breaking them up or whatever, so it's just perfect. It's one of the best relationships I've seen in years on American television, romances, because it feels like a real relationship where they don't just break up over the smallest thing. It feels like adults.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Angel. What was that?
I love them. I love Angel and Pappy. I love the way that he just loves her from day one, and he never questions her, and he is wholly there for her. And even when she, I think he starts a little bit out in love with the idea of her, but then the whole drug thing happens, and then he realizes that she's a complete whole person, and he loves her even more, and supports her every single step of the way. And when her modeling career kind of doesn't go the way she wants it to, he makes sure that it does. And when they don't like the fact that she's trans, so he just creates a modeling agency that's all different kinds of women, and that beauty isn't just one thing, and being a woman isn't just one thing.
Yeah.
I just think he's just so good for her, and they're so good together. And I love them. I love them both.
Yeah. Yorkie and Kelly for Black Mirror.
They're on my list.
San Gipino, that fucking name episode. Black Mirror. Again, 2 women finding love, and there's a cat interrupting the shot of Helen.
There is, yeah.
Ginger cat.
This isn't our cat. This is the cat that has decided that he lives here about a third of his time.
Okay.
He belongs to one of the neighbours, and he just arrives every day.
Okay, so San Junipero, Junipero, or whatever they call it, from Black Mirror is a one-off. It's unique. It's only 1 episode, but again, catches relationship difference. It's a virtual reality environment. There we find out that they're 2 older women, really, on life support, or really old. One of them is really old and on life support. And it's a really sweet romance between 2 women. Even though one of the women was married to a man, it shows you that it isn't about. There should be you can come outside of your shell. There should be no barriers to love, basically.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to justify why you can love a man and then fall in love with a woman. I mean, some people would even say if they fall in love in a same-sex relationship. I don't like torture, but Lanto Jones saying to his sister in Children of Earth, I'm not gay, it's just Jack. It's just like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it can just be that personality of that person that you're attracted to. And I like the fact that Yorkie and Kelly, it's 1 episode, but it's the best Black Mirror episode, I think. It's still up there in the top 3.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I love Kelly and Yorkie. They're just properly lovely and sweet, and it's just such a nice love story.
What about you, Troy? What have you got for me? What have you got for us?
I've got about 3 so far. I've got 3.
Okay.
Okay, first one, I'll probably go Scully and Mulder. I'm gonna go there.
Oh.
Okay, I remember. Yes.
I'm an X-Files nut, so that's why.
Wait.
Mulder and Scully. Jesus Christ. Okay.
There we go. So, nice holding, man. Great partnership, The skeptic and the
remember
believer.
the scene where they bathe together. No, it's like really long.
I had to do it, man. I had to choose those as my first pick in terms of the Valentine's Day stuff. I said to myself, what am I gonna choose? And I was like, I'll just choose like my favorite tandem probably of all time, because X-Files like probably my number one show like ever, to be honest. But yeah, them two together, like there's sometimes there was like an on and off type of thing going on for X-Files, but they always love each other. Personally, to me, they always love each other. Even in the later ones, they even show it like they actually were together for a significant amount of time. When the show actually ended, then they would do the actual restart. In the later ones, like a couple of years ago, when they did that one. But yeah, I was gonna find the relationship interesting because of, as I said before, the skeptic and the believer. When I was believing like the extraterrestrial stuff, his sister got abducted. That's what you would believe. The truth is out there. Everyone knows that phrase. The iconic feature. We all know about the iconic feature on X-Files. We know this.
I think it's been parodied by everybody. I've seen online people for like Halloween specials, Nostalgia Critics done it. Like you've seen it, like literally take the X-Files theme tune and do it as his intro. I've seen the Simpsons do it. There's that famous Simpsons X-Files episode, which is brilliant.
Family Guy did. Everyone's used it.
Everyone's done it, man.
But it was iconic thing of all time. But yeah, them two together, man. It's like they're always helping each other out. Whenever someone's down, they go to that person's house, they hang out. You know what I'm saying? They always have each other's back. That's always appreciated of those two. They always have each other's back, as I said before. And it was more on, and the thing is, it was never like one more than the other. As I always thought, you know, in certain relationships, always that one person chasing that other person. These two, they kind of just like it just worked. It just worked. Most of the time, you know, because they trusted each other. The same job they, you know what I'm saying, they're always against everybody else. It was them versus the world at one point. Remember, it's the X-Files, the part of the government that wasn't supposed to succeed. They're supposed to be shut down, obviously, by the smoking man. They're supposed to be buried out there. You know what I'm saying? Mulder was the guy. He was supposed to to fail. He wasn't supposed to to win. Scully was there for him, helping him out. So yeah. So I say that was probably my number one pick of Valentine's Day.
And Gillian Anderson would still get it.
Oh my God! Don't go. Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
Such as occasion.
Yes. Yeah.
I seem to recall her getting it quite a lot in Sex Education.
Well, as Simon Pegg said in Space, the world's sexiest woman.
Mm-hmm. And in The Fall, she got it quite a lot in The Fall as well, didn't she?
Yes.
It's not a sex scene. She's not signing up to it. Is basically what I'm doing.
It was good in The Fall.
I bet she gets it daily every day. All right, let's not talk about Gillian Anderson's sex life. Let's move on. Please.
Don't do it. Don't go there.
Don't let me go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, don't go down there. I'm sure. Ooh, get a bit rolled. Yeah, you don't go there. But yeah, so that's the first one with me. And second one, I'm gonna go with because I've been watching Superman and Lois recently, so I'm gonna go Superman and Lois, man. The whole partnership, man. I'm gonna go there.
That's
Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Have you seen it, Helen? Have you seen it?
I haven't, no, but I've seen the Superman and Lois relationship is kind of a timeless thing, isn't it? It's on
exactly. It has that timeless vibe to it.
Yeah.
And the show captures it very well, especially in the latest show that's out. CW, but I think HBO is helping do the actual effects in that, but publishing it as well. But them two together, it's like a normal couple relationship. You know what I'm saying? Not nothing too crazy, anything too dramatic. Just them, it's trying to deal with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Trying to go through life, do their regular jobs. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, because Clark isn't really at the paper like he was in the actual comics or anything like that, traditional sense. Where, you know what I'm saying? The Daily Planet and stuff like that. But Lois is still doing her job, you know what I'm saying, at the paper. Well, like a small town paper back in Smallville. They've literally gone back there now. They ain't in Metropolis anymore. They've actually gone back to the farm.
Oh, gone back to the suburbs. That's
yeah. So literally they're back in the country, back in the old country, not in the city anymore. As it usually is in the comics or the actual original Superman and Lois type deal.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting take, wouldn't it? You know, Superman settling down into fatherhood and.
Yeah, so literally he's just there in his house, in the barn. He has to go out, he has to save someone across the world, maybe going to China, might be going to, you know what I'm saying, to maybe Japan or Australia somewhere. He just does a random mission down there just to save someone real quick. They're in trouble. But yeah, stuff happens in the show, and There obviously is going to be like a drama, high drama at some point, to make the story interesting. But it is mostly just like a family and them just dealing with the kids growing up, having relationships, them dealing with their son in the room by himself with the girl up there. Lois is like, "What the heck are you doing? Like, what's going on? What are you doing with the girl in your room? Get out of here! Get out of here, Jonathan! Get that guy out of your room!" It's just stuff like that. It just kills me. It makes me laugh. It's a good little thing they got going on there as well. And Clark obviously as the calm demeanor type of Clark. He's that kind of person where he's just not like any over extrovert. He isn't like going, you kids, da 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 da. He's just kind of got calm down. Goes, yeah, but why'd you do that? Huh? Why'd you do that? The Tom, remember that famous incident with Tom Cruise where the guy literally put the water in his face. Remember? Where that little premiere that he went to. Tom Cruise was like, yeah, just come over here. Just come over here. Let's talk to you for a second. Not going anything too crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that kind of thing. That's what Clark is in the show, which I like.
I suppose he's got to be like that because if he starts whipping his children, then it's not going to end well.
Exactly. And the thing is, there were times where he did that in the show, which I love as well. Parts of his like the rage that came out because of certain circumstances in the show where he just goes, "No, you're not gonna do this," and then his voice just stumbles up and it sounds demonic almost. I love that stuff. So the anger is down there, but at the same time he keeps that hidden. Because it's a Kryptonian, it's thing. You can literally wipe out anyone on the planet. So there's always that kind of like danger there.
I do enjoy seeing like characters with superpowers and really mundane and like just doing life admin and stuff like that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, just the simple stuff. Which kind of kills me. I'm like, it's what's the superpower being just like literally sitting there and at his job at his desk. Just doing stuff. It makes you laugh about. You're like, oh my days, what would I do with those powers? And the thing that just goes through your head sometimes. You watch these kind of shows, like you got to live there, get a wage, stuff like that, to live with the rest of us. But yeah. So those two, that's a great dynamic. As I was Helen said before, timeless. We've seen a lot of iterations of the characters and the backstories. But this kind of one is just more like a down to earth version of the story, which I like. Who knows?
Well, that's the only thing that hasn't been done really is Superman and Lois sailing off into the Smallville sunset and just getting on with their lives.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So it was different. It was very different. I thought at first I was like, because when they introduced them in the Supergirl stuff, I was like, oh, is this gonna work? Yikes! I was like, yee. You know what I'm saying? But
but sounds like it did though.
Yeah, but when they actually did the show, it just took off. And that's like the best thing like on the CW stuff, on the CW.
That's the noise I make every time they do a reboot or a remake of something, and it's not like really lazy. Doesn't matter what it is. Like
yeah, he's like
every time.
Oh, but it works. The thing is, it works. It's like the number one show on CW right now because the rest of CW is trash. But they got this right. This show, they got this right, very right. So I'm with it. I like it. So is that a third one? Because I think I got three, but should I go with it? All right, I'll go with it. I was gonna leave it up. Let me go with it. So the third and final. You guys are gonna be like, oh my god, really? You chose this? But yeah. I'm gonna go. It's not even gonna go. I'm not gonna go Charms.
Don't you dare say Leo and that chick from Charms. I will that motherfucker.
But that is a great couple. I will admit that. Leo Piper. Leo and Piper is exceptional. But I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna go with Damon and Elena. Vampire Diaries show. I'm gonna go there, yo. Vampire Diaries. Yes. Vampire Diaries, let's go. Vampire Diaries fans, stand up.
I'm going to sleep for 5 minutes.
You're going to talk about Vampire Diaries?
Yes.
Yeah.
David and Elena.
Okay, great.
Look at Tara's like, yes.
Tara's waking up for Vampire Diaries. Excellent.
Right.
Yeah, don't you do it. Don't you go away. You stay here. But, yeah, Damon and Elena, man, that's a great look.
Damon and Elena. Okay.
Go on, Tara. You help me out with this one. Go on. I know you've seen it. Yeah, go on.
It's really perfect. Oh my gosh.
I mean proper horror, not this sparky vampire shit. Have fun.
This guy. But yeah, Damon and Elena, man, that was one of the greatest couples in the show. Obviously, that's another one I was on and off because Damon and the Salvatore brothers. type of thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They were vying for Elena's attention. You know how the story goes.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a bit silly because at first she and Stefan are like, oh, in high school, like, oh, I love you, I want to be you forever, blah, 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 yeah. In the end, I don't know how she gets together with Damon, and Stefan ends up with, like, who is that? Caroline, and yeah.
Yeah, Caroline, and then the other girl. What was that girl that came to town that he spent the afterlife with her or something like that? Yeah.
Valerie, his ex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his ex.
Yeah, so that was Stefan's kind of like love, you know what I'm saying? Old love, the original love in the story. But Damon and then Elena, man, that was lit. I love it so
Yeah, I mean,
it was very fiery, the relationship with obviously fiery, obviously stuff happened. But when Elena actually crossed over to the vampiric side, spoilers, anyone seen Vampire Diaries? But you should have by now. But yeah, when she actually turns to vampire at that point, that's when the Damon and Elena stuff kind of connect in the show, and they kind of spend more time together, even though they didn't throughout the show. But this was actually legit at that point. And trials and tribulations, stuff like that, and they actually take down villains together, and they kind of stay together more often at that point, towards more like the middle to the end of the show. And they even have like an afterlife scene where there's something of them together, like, and then
yeah.
Oh man, you got to see, man. That got to be, man. I was like, oh man.
Wait, so I don't get it because I couldn't really watch the last season. So I know that Elena took the cure to be human, and I wonder if Damon did as well. So he did, and he loved being a vampire, you know.
Yeah, I feel so. I feel they did, because Stefan died at that point, and then Damon and Elena just kind of like just stay together after that. I feel they did go even after. I think they did, because afterwards they kind of showed them like quickly, just like they passed away like literally shortly after. That's the kind of thing I got. So yeah, that's all they could really got, because Bonnie left at that point. Everyone kind of left town. So yeah, so that was another good one, man. Damon and Elena was special. It was special to me, man. And all the years was being with those characters. It was just a sweet moment when they actually got together, because it was always Stefan. It was always Stefan, other brother, literally most of the time. The first half of that show, Stefan and Elena. But the thing is, let's get. But it was just kind of that love at first sight business, and I was like, that didn't really work out at that point, because Stefan's Ripper side, he was like he had an evil side to him. So that kind of didn't work out. Stefan kind of just went a bit nuts for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then later, Stefan's like true form after that, because Damon was kind of consistent technically throughout most of the show anyways. It's kind of like a douchebag jackass. that's what Damon's character, you know what I'm saying? He's just the guy who's like the sarcastic, the Dean Winchester, you know what I'm saying, of the show, you know what I'm saying? He's like dissing people left and right. You don't care about hardly anyone except for like Elena. And then afterwards started like Bonnie and other like Bonnie was like technically second, like in terms of people who liked on the show. But yeah, that's my third and final pick of the Valentine's Day special, baby. Yeah. So
okay, Tara, take us home, yo. What have you got? Buff Asian men attacking the other.
You know this is going.
A buff Asian man in Star. So it's actually a show that I was going to talk about. Like, have you guys heard of Crash Landing on You?
No.
Okay, it's actually on Netflix, and it's a Korean show where a South Korean heiress to one of the companies in South Korea falls in love with a North Korean captain or commander soldier. So basically, the story follows of Sari, who's actually a successful businesswoman. I don't know how the fuck this happened, but she went paragliding on some mountain, and there was a tornado, which Korea seldom gets actually, and she gets taken by the tornado to an unknown grassland. Little did she know that it's actually she's blown over the DMZ, which is the demilitarized zone, into North Korea. Okay. So she ends up in some rural, like stupid hills place and everything. And then she actually encounters a North Korean dude called Captain Ri. And he's actually one of those commanders or something. So Sari actually tries to run away from the grassland, but ends up at a village. Because you know what's the funny part? I rewatched it in Japanese dub as well. And then she said something like, Kitacho said ushi means like a North Korean cow. Like, what? I saw a North Korean cow and I started laughing like, North Korean cow, yo, cow. Yeah, so basically, and then she has nowhere to go. So in real life, this is not going to happen. In real life, if they see a stranger or South Korean and North Korea, they're going to shoot you dead. Yeah, if you're a strange entrant. Yeah. So I don't know what happens, but somehow Captain Ree is handsome because he's played by Hyun Bin, a famous Korean actor. In real life, I doubt he's going to be that handsome, to be honest. Yeah. So he actually takes her into his house, his little village hut, and with his squad, and they treat her really nicely. And she kind of adapts to like North Korean life, like the way they cook, like they are actually living pretty backward. This show was not filmed in North Korea. It was actually filmed in Mongolia because obviously if you go to North Korea, you're gonna get shot, right? Gonna die, right? Yeah. It was filmed in Mongolia actually, and the Mongolian city for the capital, posing as Pyongyang and everything. So a lot of Mongolians were actually not happy. Like, yo, why do you use our country to portray North Korea? Actually. And parts of this show were also filmed in Switzerland. So it is actually revealed back that Sari and Captain Ree, they met in Switzerland long time ago. Because Switzerland is a neutral. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Switzerland is neutral. North Koreans can also go to Switzerland, but there are a lot of North Korean like elites and diplomats studying in Switzerland. That's why honestly, I'll never go to Switzerland to meet a Korean. They could be North Korean, yeah, or elite or diplomat. So Sari and Captain Ree, they actually crossed paths before because Captain Ree went there to study music, but he had to come back to North Korea due to his brother died. Yeah. So they've actually met before, but they didn't even realize it. So in a way, it's fate that the stupid tornado blew her over to North Korea. So in a short while, he takes care of her, adapts her to North Korean life to try to find a way to send her back to the south while crossing the militarized zone. But actually, Captain Ree has a fiance called Seodan. This is a really dick move because he lied to everyone that Sari is his fiance. Yeah, but he actually has another girl, which is a really dick move. And she comes back from fellow communist Russia after studying there. And she discovers about Sari, and that's how all hell breaks loose. So literally, Sari kind of takes the captain away from his supposed arranged marriage fiance. So the main issue is how does a South Korean actually fall in love with a communist North Korean? Just imagine like an American or a British person falling in love with a Soviet. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
Try to imagine that. In a real world, it's not possible. But in the end of the show, they actually settled in Switzerland together, which is actually possible even for North Koreans to settle in Switzerland. Yeah.
Sounds good.
I don't know. I think this is just fantasy, though. In real life, it's not going to work out. Don't you think so?
What's the name of the show again?
Crash Landing on You.
Fresh Landing.
Fresh. CRASH.
Fresh Landing.
Fresh.
Oh, that sounds like a Kama Sutra pose. That does.
Oh, I knew Ben was gonna go there. I knew it.
Like from the air.
Yeah.
That sounds like Superman going into Lewis Lane, crash landing on you.
Yeah, so this is only a fantasy though. I don't see it really happening because, there was a real life story of a North Korean and a South Korean getting married in the US. Yeah, one was a escaped defector, another one was a South Korean immigrant. But think about it, right? North Korea lives in such an isolated middle age. Apparently, they still use the river to bathe, wash their clothes, wash their stuff, wash their hair, this and that. They have no washing machine. And yeah, a lot of them, I think their IQ is below average because they don't really get education, and nutrition wise they're really stunned, I can say. Yeah, so the gap is actually very high compared to a South Korean or anyone from the free democratic world. I don't know how to say, like, I don't know how to describe it, it's like someone living in a complete communist and never seen the real world, no internet, no nothing. Yeah, you get executed for watching like South Korean dramas or anything there.
Damn, this show's got a high rating though. Damn.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see like how is it possible to marry anyone from the free world because the gap is really wide. And I heard from my ex that there's actually a lot of North Korean defectors who ended up committing suicide in South Korea because they couldn't adapt to the other way of life. Like they were dirt poor, they couldn't get a job, they had no education and all, so they just like commit suicide rather than go back to North Korea because they're gonna die anyway if they go back. Yeah. Yeah, so in reality, yeah, I don't see how that can happen. Like, even if this is a really handsome communist, I don't see how I'm going to marry that person, though. Yeah,
Interesting. I like it. I like it. I like the story.
yeah. So, would you marry a Soviet agent,
Marry an agent.
Soviet spy
Oh, spy.
from a noble Soviet family? You fell in love with one?
Yeah, that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, to be honest.
If I didn't know she was a spy, then after she told me she was a spy, then maybe.
Yeah, that's because he's handsome. He's only played by Hyun Bin, a famous Korean actor, and yeah. So in the real life, I don't think the captain will be that kind or that handsome. He's gonna shoot the intruder down on the spot right away. I mean, the only North Korea I seen was driving near the border. That's it. And you know what my ex said? You see those people there in North Korea, they're my family. They're suffering. Then I'm like, red alert. Is he a secret defector or a North Korean?
Jeez, this sounds savage over there.
I don't know. The romantic in me is like, oh, the love across the divide. Oh,
Yeah, across the border. So I'm like thinking, is my ex actually a secret North Korean? No wonder he was like so anti-Japanese and so pro CCP, Communist Party. Yeah. So he called North Korea his family. So I was taken aback, like, yo, are you a legit South Korean or are you pretending?
It's still more realistic than English and a Frenchman falling in love together.
that's
I
true.
think it's okay because England and France are both democratic countries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we hate each other.
Yeah, but still, it's not that bad, you know. Just imagine a American and a Soviet Russian. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would depend on the American, really. There's some Americans who are very like
All the movements.
that have kind of grown up with kind of communist propaganda and have told that Russia's this gigantic threat to their entire life. But as you know, like as you've said, there are people within that group that kind of understand things a bit more and understand that everybody is people, and just because of who they're ruled by doesn't mean that those people are bad. It just means that the situation that they're in might be difficult.
I mean, if he's an elite, one of the military elites, supporting the regime, yeah. Because that's what Captain Ree is. He's from a noble North Korean family that supports the regime.
Yeah. But then again, some people support the regime because they have to, and it's that or die.
Yeah, you live there, boy. You better support. Or you get killed.
Especially if it's like a dictatorship.
Yeah, it's a dictatorship.
Well, yeah, what choice do you have in a dictatorship?
Yeah.
So,
Usually defectors don't support. They get out and speak against Kim Jong-un. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to have money to get out, don't you?
Oh no, they escape. But yeah, I don't know if they really exactly pay money or they like escape through smuggling or something like that.
I suppose even then, though, you'd have to kind of have money to get, to bribe people to look the other way while you hop in the back of their truck and all that stuff.
Yeah, usually they pay smugglers at the border from China to take them all the way to Mongolia or Laos and take a flight to South Korea.
Yeah, it's not something I could probably ever answer because I can never imagine having to make those kinds of choices, I suppose.
Yeah, stop down to that.
Which I'm very grateful for. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we're lucky we're not born in North Korea.
Yeah, exactly.
Or any dictatorship regime.
Got deep there, didn't it? So much for a Fluffy Valentine special.
Yeah, it's across the
Cheers, Tara.
yeah, like, yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, so maybe I do have another couple. Okay, this is actually a spin-off from the Vampire Diaries. It's called The Originals, but it's a grown-up version. It's a more grown-up version and mature version.
Okay.
What's up with the vampires?
Ooh.
Let's go, Tara. I'm ready
Okay,
for this.
so have you
I'm
guys
ready
heard
now.
of Rebecca and Marcel?
Sexy vampire.
Is it the monkey
Oh,
from?
you're talking about originals?
Yes, the original. So yeah, I'm
There we
actually
go.
talk about Rebecca and Marcel because I think they have this like up and down thing as well, like really tumultuous relationship.
Ben, accept it. Accept this, Ben.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yeah.
This is a Valentine special, and somehow we've now gone to vampires twice.
Yeah. Okay. So basically their relationship began long ago. So maybe I may touch a sensitive topic in American history, which was during the slavery period. Because this takes place in the Confederate. So the South was actually like very pro-slavery. So I think Marcel was a boy and he was working as a slave on the cotton field so I think, and Nick Klaus, who's Rebecca's brother, actually saved him and raised him as his own, but never turned him into a vampire as he was growing up. So the minute he grew up, I think Rebecca fell in love with Marcel because the Michelsons treated Marcel as their own family member. So, because he was no longer a slave, Klaus said, "You're set free. You're part of our family." Yeah. So, once he grew up, I can't remember how he became a vampire, and Rebecca fell in love with him because he had man titty, and he was
Every I meant it, I was waiting for that.
he was like grown up, man titty, and everything. So Rebecca was like, "Ooh, hard eyes. Okay, I fall in love with this guy." And Klaus forbid it. He was not happy. So I don't know what happened. Klaus forbid it, but I think over the centuries they had many lovers, both of them, but they never forgot about each other. And there was even one time where Rebecca tried to get rid of Klaus so that she can be with Marcel in the early 1990s. But I think that didn't happen apparently. So it went on and on and on and on. And then I don't know what happened. They were bitches, they were bastards in the middle. These vampires, they literally sleep around because they're thousands of years old. They got nothing better to do, right? So okay, let's go to one of. Okay, right. So basically, season one, I think they're both at odds together. So season two, I think it also so this and that, like a drama, and I think they fight several times and everything because due to conflict, like she has to side her brother for this and that. Yeah. So I think in the end they actually do get together because Rebecca takes the cure.
The end.
And becomes human. Yeah. So in the end they actually do get together after thousands of years. Yeah. So that's the end of this.
Yes, Marcel, Rebecca, that is a good one. I like that. Wait, but Rebecca still has her powers because in Legacy, Rebecca still got powers.
Really? I haven't watched Legacies yet.
She's
So
still a vampire.
Legacies yet.
Yeah, so them to the cures yet, but because Klaus and Elijah they both die.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So technically, that's when she goes off with Marcel. They go away and that. So,
True.
They're finally gone, so they can actually, you know what I mean, be together.
And I mean, it's a more grown-up version of the Vampire Diaries, and it also features like LGBT couples.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there was the guy Josh, the vampire, and he had a few boyfriends, right? I don't remember.
I got a good actor though as well. I like Josh. Josh is a good character.
Yeah, and Freya and the werewolf, I forgot her name. So like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He always loved Marcel. I guarantee that he loved Marcel. Josh.
Yeah. You love Marcel.
Yeah. Marcel was like a little brother. He's like, I'll take care of you, man. Don't worry, Josh, I got you.
Oh yeah.
I always saw it, he was helping him out, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a good little bromance as well. I like that. When he died, man, I was like, when Josh died, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, Josh died. So sad.
Man. I was like, oh, Josh was the guy. I love Josh's character. I was like, oh, damn it.
But he reunites with his boyfriend the light.
Yeah. Or just to live, man. I was like a freak. But he's because Josh is the one, Helen, who's in Yellow Jackets.
Oh, right, okay. Who's
The
he in
one
Yellow
leg.
Jacket?
The one leg.
Oh, the one leg guy. Right, okay.
Yeah, the coach. So that's him. So he's going to play Josh in originals.
Wow, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, it's good, really good actor. As you know. Yeah, I like that. Rebecca Marcel, that kind of came out of left field. I like that. I like that, Tara. The Vampire Diaries originals. See that, Ben? There you go.
Right. So we're done. We're done. Okay.
Yeah, we're done. Yes, no more couples. Okay.
So the episode is done. All of our parents have had sex. Episode 96 is in the bag. Done.
What? You said something about sex?
Yeah, that's the title. That's
Okay,
the
okay,
title.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Crash Landing on You still sounds like something Superman would do to Lewis Lane for a Crash Landing. Seriously. It's filthy, I know, but this is my brain working right now. So yeah. Guys, where can we find you?
Oh man. Go on, Tara, you go first.
Okay. So basically, check out my channel below. YouTube, TikTok, full of Asian titty men. Mm-hmm.
Titty man. It's the titty man.
Troy?
Korean titties.
Oh yes, Legend of Old 101 on YouTube. Pop culture news, reviews, reactions, all that good stuff. Hey, it's fine on YouTube. Tara threw me off, man.
Tara's always throwing me fucking off. Last week went smoothly because of it. It's back. It's bloody chaos again. Right. So, Helen.
Find me. I'm running the Square Eyes Syndrome Twitter account. We could do with some followers, and that's Square Eyes SYN, because that's all the letters you can have in a Twitter name.
An email.
Same, but at gmail.com.
Lovely. Cool. Brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. We've got a Facebook group with the Square Eyes Syndrome name in as well. If you guys would like to go across to Twitter as well, we really appreciate it. And that's it for this week. Sleeping Beauty is up. I don't know what the next one is. Oh yeah, I have no idea anymore. It will come. Troy will send the last.
We'll set them up. We'll set them up, guys.
We'll set it up. We're not even going to tell you what the other two are, but it's still a bad run of movies. Like, damn. The next one is better than Sleeping Beauty, but not by much. And Tara and Troy have to carry that episode because I don't have a lot to say.
Yeah.
It's so awful. It's so boring. It's not even that good.
Ben was zoned out, but yeah, we handled it. Me and Tara handled it. Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, because Sleeping Beauty, you can make loads of jokes about the prince being a grabby, rapey guy. Like, you can just be like, Mr., put a rape alarm on that. Like, seriously. Or mace it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can't do that with Cars.
Not big on consent, is he, in that show?
No, Cars. Cars is just boring. There's a very little jokes you can make about Cars. Anyway, so break out open a Kama Sutra. It's the loving weekend. Do it with a partner. Don't do it like Troy does solo.
What do you mean solo? Get the heck out of here. Like a rotation.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Can't wait for that audition Kama Sutra with Crash Landing on You from Superman.